women are the gatekeepers of sex and men are the gatekeepers, but you still in it because you're afraid that if you let her go, you're not gonna have another one. And because of desperation, you're gonna end up with the wrong one. A woman is going to decide whether she wants to, open her legs for you, for another man, or multiple men. She makes that decision, not you. There's like these crazy things happening where like a lot of people trying to get confidence, and then the way that they're trying to do it is by reading a bunch of books. And it's like, but confidence comes from competence, like literally. So let's say, for example, when I was going to the gym, right? The first day I stepped into the gym, I didn't know what I was doing. Like I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and everything, but like it was my first day there. It was like pretty much overwhelming, right? So you go there, then you try to figure out what to do, and you look at everybody else like, okay, like, what am I doing here, right? But fast forward after like a few weeks, okay, let's say like a few months and a few years, I walk in there, it's like I'm the man, right? Because I know exactly what I'm doing, and my body also reflects that. You see what I mean? So confidence comes from competence. You have a lot of these so-called gurus selling books, trying to play with people's emotions because they know a lot of individuals, they don't want to do the hard work, right? So they want to be lazy about it. They tell you about the 10%. It's like, hey, visualize yourself, wake up in the morning and hold your hands up and, I don't know, like tell yourself that, you can do it, or whatever phrases that they tell you, right? It's like, so you repeat it multiple times and then all of a sudden you're supposed to become confident. I'm like, bro, this is complete BS, bro. That's not the way it's supposed to work, you know what I mean? Like, there's some truth to it. Visualizing yourself and becoming a better person, or like seeing yourself, I don't know, like in the future, let's say, for example, you have this type of body type that you want to achieve, a particular income or a job or whatever, you see yourself being this type of person in the future, you visualize yourself being that person. So it's type of thing that can help you in the process, but they only talk about the 10%. So they make a whole book talking about the 10%, but the other 90%, they just omit those details, and it just doesn't make sense because yes, visualizing is important. I recognize that, but like that's just like 5-10%. You know what I mean? So like the rest of the 90%, they don't talk about it, right? Because most people are not willing to do the work. So they rather spend, let's say, I don't know, like $100 on like 5-10 books to read about how to be more confident or whatever, because the way those type of gurus, the way the words, the book, or like how the title of the books completely different, right? They call it law of like attraction or whatever, right? They find random names, right, to make it sound appealing. So when you read it, I'm like, hey, I need to purchase this, right? Because this is something that might help me achieve or get to the next level, right? But it's just the same books they be writing over and over, right? There's nothing new about it. They just change the stories by the same principles. They only tell you about the 5%. Visualize this, use your brain to do this, whatever. But like, no. Let's say, for example, you tell a guy who is not comfortable talking to females, right? So you tell him, okay, read this book and then visualize yourself talking to females. But I don't know, let's say he does it like 10 times in his head, and you put him in a scenario where he has to go talk to a bunch of females. I guarantee you the first time he's going to do it, he's going to fold 100%, right? Because he's not used to it, right? So you have to do it multiple times in order to be comfortable. So it doesn't matter even if I don't know, he saw a particular scenario on a video, right? Okay, when you approach the shorty, this is what you have to do, right? And you memorize every single thing. And when you go there in real life, let's say everything goes according to the plan, and then midway, she says something completely different. What are you going to do? That's real life, right? So you need to adapt, right? So that's the reason why I say you have to do it multiple times. So confidence comes from competence. Same thing when you go to a new job, you don't know what you're doing, right? You might be excited about it, doesn't mean it's confidence. But the more you do it, the more confidence you're gonna have, because you're gonna be competent, your skills are going to improve. Assuming that you're the type of person who learns from learn from their mistakes and just move on and trying to get better and better every single day, right? So that's the number one thing. If you're not that type of person, obviously it's not gonna work. But yes, Like there's no, it's just common sense, right? You don't need to read 1,000 books to learn about that. You don't even need to read a single book. You just need common sense. Confidence comes from competence. You do it many times, you become an expert, and automatically you're just confident at it because you know what you're doing. Nobody has to tell you anything. I mean, the one thing that we were talking about last night too, it's like the rise of the weak man, or like should I say the fall of the strong man. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's the same thing, right? So it goes like this: you give most men a little bit of comfort and a woman to satisfy their need, and you watch most of them fall. They'll forget about their purpose, 100%, right? Because they become complacent. See what I mean? And that's super super dangerous, right? Become comfortable because a lot of men they work hard just hoping that a woman is going to recognize them, see them as a potential match. So once they get a little bit of attention, they just forget everything, right? Because most of them they just work for that, which is unfortunate, but that's the reality. It's like they feel like they don't have to try hard anymore, right? Because they got what they wanted in the first place. And obviously, those type of men are not fitted to rule because it's like they're guided and they're governed by their own emotions. So simple because like a man that has a strong frame would never put a woman first, right? Because the number one thing is your purpose, your mission, whatever that you're living for. That's the number one thing because without it, you won't be able to provide. The type of man I'm describing here understand this one basic, okay, I'm not gonna say basic, but like a super simple principle. It's so simple, but yet a lot of people don't understand it. They're not aware of it, but yet when applied, a lot of things will happen. Like your life will have a drastic change. So you need to understand this one thing: like women are the gatekeepers of sex, and men are the gatekeepers of commitment. So a woman is going to decide whether she wants to, open her legs for you, for another man, or multiple men. She makes that decision, not you. And on the other side, you get to make the decision. Let's say, for example, you meet with a shorty, with a woman. You get to decide if you want to keep her for the long term or keep her around for pleasure. You get to make that decision. That's in your hand. But in order for that to work, you need to be on your A game. You need to be on top of your game. Because otherwise, for example, you will see, so like, you cannot just be average, right? Because she will treat you according to your value. That's the reason why one man will get a blank stare or sinister look from a female after telling her that she looks good or saying something nice about her outfit. And another man, using the exact same words, will get a friendly smile that signals him that she's very interested. So what was the reason for the different attitude towards the two different men? Was it the looks, height? How can I say something that informed her that one was making more money than the other? A combination of all of them. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. You have to be on your A game. If you the type of man, if you've never been in a position where you had access to a lot of women, you will never understand this part because it's just gonna hit different. You've never been in a position where you have access to a lot of women, right? So you walk around, you see some people who have, let's say, two or three by their side, or just one, or they just don't have no problem getting a woman. And because of desperation, you're gonna end up with the wrong one. Even with time, you will know yourself that you're doing like a very bad decision. Like it's a bad mistake. It's a very, very, very bad decision. But you're still in it because you're afraid that if you let her go, you're not gonna have another one. So your fears will keep you in that bad relationship. And that's how a lot of people end up. Right? Super terrible, but unfortunately that's the reason why. Because you've never been in that position before. But let's say if you were in a position where you had access to a lot of women before and you decide to get with one, if things don't work out, if she misbehaves, then she has to go because you're not afraid of being by yourself, right? You don't have that type of fear. You don't live in lack. You don't have a scarcity mindset. That's the main difference. Not just because you have a bunch of women by your side. That can be the reason. But the main reason is because you trust in your ability to attract more. You see what I mean? Because you know you're on your work, you're on your purpose, you're on your grind every single day. You're just working. And if the right time comes, then you can invite a female to join, to be part of the journey or just remain solo. That's your choice. You get to decide that because you don't fear losing her. See what I mean? But unfortunately, a lot of the weaklings, the weak men, they fall for it, right? Because they're afraid that, if she goes, then they're not gonna have another one. He's afraid to say no, afraid to do the wrong things, to let her go. Well, one of the number one thing too is not having like a good crew to hold you accountable. Let's say, for example, you doing something really bad, something really terrible. You're about to be in a relationship with somebody. Obviously, if you let your emotions guide you, already you are in deep waters, my friend. When I say you are in trouble, big trouble. But if you have some type of friends around you who can keep you accountable, can hold you accountable, and something, yo, this is not you. You are letting your emotions decide. This female is completely terrible for you. What are you doing? Most of the time, you're not gonna listen because you're just in your feelings. But having those type of men around, 100% will be in your favor. 100% of the time, it's gonna be in your favor. Even though most don't listen, right? Because they see the female, they just lose their mind, right? So that's why it's super important. Not saying to detach from your emotions, but just understand your emotions, right? Know exactly what you want. Be on your A game. Just work every single day to increase your value as a man, right? So super important. Not saying the goal is to like just get a bunch of women or whatever. No, that's not the goal. I'm just saying, so increasing your value, that's the main reason, that's the main goal. The game, just what it is. Just notice, they say like people don't judge or whatever, but like if you dress a certain way and you go to a restaurant or like some type of event, the way you dress is gonna determine how most people will treat you 100% of the time. We like to say that people don't judge or whatever, you shouldn't judge, whatever, but that's not reality. You're living in La La Land, right? It's like the gurus who are trying to sell you the motivational books or the how do you call it, to increase your confidence or whatever. They're selling you dreams. You don't live in reality. People will treat you according to just how you look. If I go somewhere just the way I look, let's say with a tank top showing my tattoos, I would get a different look, right? That okay. Also depends on where you are. For example, if it's in America, it'll be completely different because it's just something that's common. But let's say if I do it in a place like here, for example, in my home country or somewhere else, instead if I walk around and then I just show my tattoos, everybody's just you know what I'm saying? It's a different look. So if I dress with this like in a suit, I get it exactly. The treatment will be completely different, right? I'm not here to be like, oh, people shouldn't judge and do this. Like, that's not my problem. I live in reality. I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't judge or whatever. That's not my problem. I just know reality. People will judge you according to how you look. That's the number one reason why I tell guys, you need to hit the gym. You need to train in order to look a certain way. That you can run, you can jog, you can do calisthenics. There's a lot of things that you can do, but I'm just saying you need to be in shape because that's super important. How you take care of yourself, like how you handle yourself, the clothes you wear, they need to fit you. So that's number one. That's the number one thing. If I had to give one piece of advice to any man, just take care of your physical body. Like, I cannot stress that enough. The number one thing is just take care of your physical body. Like, it's just gonna help you so much you have no idea. We were talking about confidence earlier. The confidence that you would get from having a crazy physique, like if you've never been in that position, you would never understand. Like the confidence that you would get just knowing that your body looks good. Like, it's crazy. You can try on any type of clothes. They're just gonna fit. The way you walk and how you handle yourself, the stares that you would get from a bunch of females and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just how you feel about yourself. Imagine the first thing you see when you wake up in the morning, when you're taking a shower, you come out the shower, the first thing you see in the mirror is a healthy looking body. That's the number one thing, is health. But if the body also shaped, like say like an athletic body and all that stuff, and then on top of that you dress well, that's massive confidence right there. That's already, that just takes everything out the window. Just having a great looking body. Confidence comes from competence. You don't need to read 1,000 books. You don't need to, no, you just need common sense, and then that's it. And then work every single day to become valuable as a man. Increase your skills, whatever that you do in life, just become valuable, become good at it. That's the goal, number one. Don't fall for the small boys who be like, okay, the goal is just to get a bunch of women and do this or whatever. Like, no, you don't have to try hard. They're just gonna come. If you respect those things that we talked about, they're just gonna come. It's not gonna be like a struggle where you have to like try hard or like, no, they're just gonna come. Just focus on you, focus on your goals, your purpose, your mission. The rest is just fall in line. And 100%, the number one thing, God. You cannot leave God out of the equation. Like, God is the number one thing, right? Okay. I should have started the video with that, but anyways, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm a believer, so yes, you need to put God first because that's the number one thing. And then follow the rest, and you will see, right? Nancy, my Nancy,